me shit.
Me?
Always giving me shit. Bodybuilding is a science, but it's not rocket science. It's all very logical. So,
Yeah, I think Ed's out there.
So I'm going to show you a basic way of stretching the tricep, but it's going to be it's going to look very basic, but it's something a lot of you are going to struggle with. You really need to keep your mind around it.
So paranoid, look at him.
I am, so the door go. I'm going to turn face it now, because you never know. Either it's going to be a policeman rushing him with a fucking taser, or it's going to be someone that really don't like you. You alright, mate? Customer. I forgot what I was fucking saying.
Talk about triceps.
Triceps.
Yeah.
Triceps. Yeah, I'm about to show you an exercise.
Get it together, man.
You was going to ask me a question, Carlo.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to think of the good time to bring it up, but obviously we get a lot of questions the last couple of days about, well, steroids.
Who's been getting a lot of questions?
You have.
I'm not going to say it for you.
No, not me.
You had a fan base.
My followers know not to ask me questions like that.
Oh,
Aarron.
you have followers. How many followers do you have, Carlo? How many followers do you have, Carlo?
About... Depends on what social media we're talking about.
Facebook.
Yeah, about 240. No, that's followers, not friends.
Right.
I have no friends.
Yeah, friends. A bit like me. It's lonely at the top, isn't it?
It is.
It's lonely at the bottom as well.
Yeah.
Hey, touch me. Hey. Well, I was going to ask, steroids. What do you know about steroids?
People banging about steroids again, and it's just becoming a popular question.
You know what? I'll tell you what. I've got a... you know what? I'll tell you what. That sort of rhyme, doesn't it?
It does rhyme.
Somebody commented on my page last night saying when I put up that products were for sale on bornalpha.co.uk, some of my products were back in stock. Somebody commented saying, when are you going to start talking about steroids? I bet you we won't, because clearly you need steroids in order for the supplements to work. That's the most stupid, uneducated statement I've heard. You don't need steroids in order for supplements to work. And don't think for 1 second I'm scared to talk about steroids. I've shown people a safe way of using steroids before. I mean, what do you want to know? I mean, I know this guy said that after putting that comment up, said that he was going on his first course of test and he wanted some advice. Let me explain something to you. Nobody can give you advice on what you should take, because nobody knows your body type. Steroids is a medication, so you've got to understand there's so many different types of human beings. We're allergic to different things, and some things react quicker and better to some people, and some things don't react to people at all. Just like supplements, just like anything in this world, and you have to realise that. So in order for somebody who's selling gear to say, oh, Carlo, you know, you should be on this one rip, this will get you ripped up in 4 or 5 weeks. Why would it? You know, it might be made up of 3 or 4 different compounds. One of them compounds you might not get on with. If you are thinking about taking steroids, then you need to be starting off with the basics. Like, and when I say that, I mean like one thing at a time. So a basic oral, a basic tablet. See how you get on with that. I know when I first started taking gear, I was taking Dianabol, and that's all I ever took. I would start off on 3 a day, and then, you know, as I progressed and as I got older, then I did 5 a day. And then you add in injectables in, you then add in a testosterone, maybe an anthate, maybe a cypronate, you find out which works best for you. And then you add in a deca, and then before you know it, you've seen the different stages of your own body. Does that make sense? And you know what works for you and what don't. What you don't want to do is start going on the opinion of the person that's trying to sell you it. Because it's an accident waiting to happen. Either, you know, you're going to put too much of something into your body that you don't need, and you're going to have a reaction. The reaction could be bloatiness, it could be acne, it could be anything. It could be a serious health risk. You know, you could have a reaction and end up really poorly. So you have to be careful with it. But unfortunately, it's one of them. It's an industry where you have to be your own guinea pig as well. You know, we're not fortunate like they are in the States, where they have doctors that can prescribe you this. You know, everything in the UK is sort of on the black market. Although steroids aren't illegal to possess, they're not illegal to buy, they're still, you can't get prescribed them, it's a controlled substance. So they are illegal to sell. So you have to be switched on. So Aarron, what's the best steroid to take to get big quick? There isn't one. Because let's be honest, if there was, if there was an injection that could make you look like Lee Priest in 6 weeks, most of us would be on it. I know I'd be injecting it in my fucking neck, and that's just me being honest, okay? So there isn't. There is no steroid that's gonna get you big quick. No tablet, no injection. The only way you are gonna build a quality physique is by training for a certain amount of time natural and pushing your physique to its absolute limit and the best it can be naturally. And then when you've built that physique and you feel you wanna go down that road, then you take steroids if that's what you want to do. And that's when steroids does its job. It's a performance enhancer, but you need to be performing well in order for it to enhance that performance. Does that make sense? You cannot go from, let's say, somebody like that.
Come on, I got a big t-shirt on.
You cannot go from somebody who doesn't train at all to injecting steroids.
You prick.
You cannot go from somebody who doesn't train at all, for instance, to taking steroids to all of a sudden having a physique. It will not work. It will not work. If you're a fat person who's all of a sudden taking steroids, you're only going to get bloated. You're only going to get even fatter. Steroids are designed to put on weight. Okay, for whatever diseases they are designed to tackle or designed to help fight, they are designed primarily to put on weight, and that's what you have to remember. So you need to get your food right, and you need to be training for a long time. Anybody, I mean, for instance, I can eat a KFC before training. I can have takeaways all week. The fat sits in the right places for me. Why? Because I've been training since I was 14 years old. Okay, and then I competed at quite a high level. And yes, I took gear, but even when I come off the gear, yes, I might lose a bit of size. When I take my jumper off, everything is still there. The shape is still there. The hard work still shows. Just like any old school bodybuilder, they never lose their fucking their shape that they created. They never lose it, and it doesn't take them long to get any gains that they may have lost or any size back. You know, like for instance, I could do one set and a superset on leg extensions. That'd be enough for me. My pump would be incredible because I've been training so long. No different to any sport. In order for you to be great at something, you need to be training at that sport for a long period of time. Like a footballer, most footballers have been training since they were what, 8, 7, 6, same as boxers. You know, bodybuilding is no different. Don't think you can just start bodybuilding, in 6 months' time you can take gear and build a physique. It does not work that way. And if you think it does, then you're really, really not going to get very far. What you need to do is stay off the internet, because when you're doing research on forums on particular types of steroids, all you're doing is reading people's opinions. What you want to do is get a book, an encyclopedia. A good one is Anabolic 2016, Anabolic 2017. There's a book called Anabolic and there's a new one, excuse me, that comes out each year. That's the one that I learned from. It's like an encyclopedia. You can look up, for instance, Dianabol. There'll be 3 pages on Dianabol. It will tell you the year it was invented, why it was invented, the side effects, the dosages it will tell you everything that you need to know. And that's my advice on steroids. And when it comes to brands, it's like, wow, you know, you must be careful with what brands you take, because a lot of brands out there do not give a fuck about your health. They are only interested in your money. And I know this because there was a time where it was what's the word? It was alleged that I owned one of the biggest brands in the UK.
Oh yeah.
Chemical Solutions. Alleged. And I remember knowing the people that ran that brand. And when I knew them, I learnt a lot on how other companies rip people off. So there is a company, for an example, Wildcat. That's a common one, okay? A company like a fucking awful brand, awful. That is just an accident waiting to happen. Wildcat is a classic. What they would do is a fast-acting test is the cheapest test. Long-acting test is the most expensive test. So to the end user, a fast-acting test should be about 25 quid, let's say propionate. A long-acting test should be about £35. But what they would do, like a test 400 or a test Nanthate, what they would do is they would sell you a test propionate with a test 400 label on. So of course you're paying £35 for a test 400, but what you're not getting test 400, you're getting a test propionate. So yeah, you're going to the gym, you'll get a pump, you'll think, fucking hell, yeah, this gear is great. Well, yeah, it is, but it's in your system within 3 days, of course you're going to get a fucking pump. So they are selling you gear, but it's not what you're paying for. What they are doing is they're ripping you off. Now, that won't really have much of an effect on us males. But when you're talking about something like Anavar, which is safe for women to use, what they tend to do is they skimp on the ingredients because Anavar is very, very, very expensive to make. So they will end up substituting that with Dianabol, which is very cheap to make. And again, that won't really make that much of a difference to us. It won't be that much of a problem. When you're a female and you start taking Dianabol, thinking that you're taking Anavar, that's when you're going to have a big problem because you have irreversible effects, and that's not fair. So these companies, they do not think of the health of the customer. They don't do it for the love of the sport. What they do is to finance their own pocket, you know, and that's what you've got to be careful of. If you want to know, Aaron, what's the best gear to take? Listen, there are so many brands out there, brands that I've never heard of that are good brands. There are also brands out there that I have heard of that are shit brands. Wildcat comes to mind. What I would suggest is, if you've got your physique to that point where you're happy with it, you've made some great fucking progress, and maybe you want to compete now, maybe you want to go down that road of taking steroids, you want to test your body, you want to see what you can do, then what I would do is maybe see your gym owner. You know, if you've got an old school gym owner that's about 50 years old, he sells gear on the sideline, I don't know. And what I wouldn't do is buy gear off of somebody where it's his main income. Don't buy gear off of a skinny person, because that's like asking Jimmy Savile to look after your kids. Oh, it's fucking, well, what do you expect, you know what I mean? Why would you buy steroids off of a skinny guy? My point is, you want to buy gear off of somebody that's been in the game a long time. That is when you know that they're not in it for the quick buck. You know, they're in it to, yeah, of course they're going to make a profit. There's no point in doing it otherwise. But they're going to have your interests at heart as well, and they want to see you succeed. That is probably the only way that you're going to sort of be rest assured in what you are taking. But, you know, be safe, and I'm sure there's people in your gym, some real old school people that keep themselves to themselves, that have been training years, that could probably point you in the right direction and help you along the way. Now I completely forgot what I was fucking doing.
You can do some triceps. We can do a tricep movement.
How long is this video up to already?
We're up to 13 minutes so far.
13 minutes?
Yeah. I'm sure your fans would watch you all day if they could, Aaron.
Probably got bored of this video. Let's do it. Wide grip. What we're going to do is push down on our palms. Okay? So, see this look? I want my palms at an angle on the bar. So not like that, on the palms. There we go. Now what we're going to do is we're going to squeeze it at the top for 2 seconds. Straight down. Straight down. I like that. Let's put the weight on. Bodybuilding, mate.
I was just doing some CrossFit on it.
Straight down. Hold it up there for 2 seconds, 2 seconds, 2 seconds. Straight down. Straight up. Hold it. Straight down. Straight up. We're doing a pause at the top. Straight down. So in one sense, yes, bodybuilding can be very complicated and it can be very scientific when you're talking about subjects like I was just talking about. But in another sense, when it comes to training, that's when it becomes logical. You know, I mean, we want to stretch that fascia. So how do we stretch the tricep? Well, when the arm is bent, the tricep is at its full stretch. So it makes sense, let's do the squeezes at the top instead of at the bottom. And you will feel a bigger burn than you've ever done before on triceps. That's it, I've trained, baby.